All right, hey everybody, this is Nick from Mecca Warehouse, and today it is time for weekly update number 4. Hopefully, you guys have been liking this kind of weekly series. It's been kind of interesting to sit down and just kind of chronicle what's been going on with the warehouse, give you guys some updates about stuff, answer questions, things like that. So hopefully, you've been enjoying it. Let me know in the comments how you've been enjoying this series, and I'd love the feedback. First up, week in review. So it's been an interesting week. We posted a second video earlier this week on Wednesday, which was a kind of a inventory check-in video. Kind of detailed some of what goes into checking in product after it hits the dock, so to speak, and we receive it. And so a lot of the stuff that's going to be restocked today is actually in that video as I check it in and kind of walk through that process a little bit. One of the really interesting things that happened during check-in is that I realized this week that I had ordered a bunch of Gundam markers to restock. I've been kind of low on Gundam markers, and so I placed a ton of back orders. A bunch of it came in, and the really funny thing is instead of ordering like 20 markers, I ordered 20 boxes of markers. So thankfully a lot of these markers were not fully stocked with this particular supplier. So I didn't have like 20 boxes of everything, but I did get a ton more markers than I expected. Thankfully, they're going to let me return a lot of the markers. Same thing goes with Mr. Mark Softer. I had ordered, hold on a second. Wait for the heat to turn off. There you go, it's off. So thankfully they're gonna let me return a lot of these markers. Mr. Mark Softer, I ordered I thought 40 bottles, and I got 40 cases, or 40 boxes, which is like 6 per box, so like 6 times more than I had thought I was getting. So returning a bunch of that stuff. So it made for an interesting week. I still have to send that stuff back, but exciting stuff. We also added Dispe, the tool line, to our line here at our selection here at Mecca Warehouse. That stuff went up on Wednesday, and a lot of it's actually sold out already, but they're kind of pretty well known for these 3.0, the STA 3.0 nippers. They're supposed to be pretty close to God hand in terms of quality, but they're significantly cheaper, I believe. So got a bunch of those in, a bunch of different sanding sponges, chisels. Actually, we didn't get the sanding sponges. We got the little sanding, little adhesive backed sandpapers and sanding sticks that go with them. Sanding sponges we'll get on the next order. A ton of other interesting tools. So that's new this week. We also just received yesterday, I'm shooting this on Thursday, so on Wednesday we received the high grade heavy arms and the bound dock, which are new releases, so we should have those up next week. I don't think I'm going to get to having them on the website for the time this video is released, but maybe I'll get lucky. Probably not though. So next up, let's switch gears a little bit and talk about the Gunpla Expo. This happened probably a week and a half, 2 weeks ago. I wanted to put it in last week's video, but I just didn't have time to really, consume any information about it and shoot the video. But they basically announced a ton of brand new kit releases for next year. I'll try to post some pictures up here somewhere, but interesting ones. There's a new real grade high new Gundam coming out, MG Dom 2.0, which we kind of knew was coming because of the Dwaj. There's a whole bunch of stuff. Where the new high-grade Death Scythe was announced. And there's just a ton of other kits, a lot of interesting stuff, some exciting releases coming out. So We got some good news, I guess. Some great kits, or hopefully great kits coming out for next year to be looking forward to. So that's exciting news. So let's see. Next up, now I reserve a moment for a little bit of a rant here. So I'm going through comments the other day, and I noticed somebody on, I think it was on Instagram, kind of bashing a build that somebody had posted almost, and so this person had submitted a build. I'm not going to get in detail into which one. That's not really super important which one I'm talking about or who bashed it or any of that kind of stuff. But when somebody puts their work out into the world, especially somebody who's new to the hobby, maybe it's their first time painting, maybe it's their first time doing customization, whatever it is, I think it's important that we as a community make the effort to not put that person down for trying something and for sharing their work. There's that whole saying that goes around with Gunpla is freedom. Well, we should all be able to feel free to express ourselves through our building, to try new things, to experiment, and to share our work. And if you take the time to look at somebody else's stuff and then tell them that they didn't do a good enough job, that's not worth posting or whatever it is, you're not helping anybody. You might be helping your own ego, but if you need that to boost your ego, really you should go screw off, because you need to find I don't know, some better ways to feel good about yourself. As a hobby, being welcoming and inviting the people in is how the hobby's going to grow. It's how it's going to stay vibrant and healthy. And it's really important that we do. We want to keep Gunpla growing. We want to bring more people into the fold, because the more people there are, the more of a market there is, the more Bandai and other companies can create new and exciting products for us. And just being a good person, right? If somebody tries something, they work hard on something, put any sort of effort in, why take the time to try to break them down? It's just stupid. So I'll end my little rant there, but I hope people agree with me. Let me know what you think in the comments. But I think we need to do the best job we can as a community to welcome people into the community, encourage people to try things, give them affirmation that they tried something and that it was worthwhile, and if necessary, give constructive criticism so they can continue to grow. But there's a difference between constructive criticism and just tearing people down. Anyway, a couple more subjects here before I wrap up. Reviews. So I posted in the Mecha Warehouse Discord last week. I had realized that we only had one review on our Google Places page. If you put in Mecha Warehouse into Google Maps, there was one review, and I let everybody know that on the Discord and said, "Hey guys, if you guys could give us a review, that'd be great." And so I'm super excited and super thankful that we have 54 5-star reviews now, which is pretty awesome. So thank you everybody who reviewed us. I really appreciate it, and really this goes for everybody anyway. Anybody who's patronized the business, thank you so much. I'm not able to do what I'm doing without you, and I really appreciate the support. It means an incredible amount to me that you guys spend your hard-earned dollars with me and have been able to help facilitate me taking this little kind of like side project dream thing, so to speak, into this business. And I'm really, really excited to see where it goes over the next several years, the next decade, whatever that is. So once again, thank you all. And maybe I'll throw some of those reviews up here if I haven't already, so you guys can see. Maybe I should do like a weekly review shout out or something. Let me know in the comments if that seems like something that I should do, and we'll go from there. Okay, second to last segment here, restocks. So today, day you're watching this being Friday, we have a lot of new kits in stock. Decent number of kits anyway, just a few. Best Hit Chronicle PlayStation. This is the little like 2/5 scale PlayStation. I've heard it's actually cheaper to buy a PlayStation on eBay, an old PlayStation 1, but if you were into that might be cool. High grade Jagan. People have been asking for Jagans for a while, so excited to have that. Haro Fitter. That's a new kit. and Haro loader. These ones are pretty awesome. I built one of these with my son, and it was quite a fun little kit. The Evangelion Model 2. We also have the Black War Greymon, and there's a few other HGUC kits, I think. And obviously we got the Dispe Tools in this week as well, or up on the site this week as well. So definitely check all that stuff out. We got some partial Tamiya restock as well today. So any of that stuff interests you, definitely take a look at the complete list, see what we got in, and then browse the backlog a little bit. We got a lot of stuff in. We're pretty well stocked. You can kind of see behind me. You can see the mountain of empty boxes here from this last shipment. I've been so buried, but there's a ton of good stuff kind of on the shelves, so to speak, or in actuality, I guess. So definitely check that stuff out if you haven't. And finally, Q&A. So I forgot to say this last week, but if you want to ask a question, post it down in the comments. I would love to answer your questions during one of these weekly update videos. I've got one question today that I'll answer, but I need more questions, guys. So if there's anything you want to know, whether it's about me personally, if it's about Mecha Warehouse, about the hobby, anything like that, I would love to answer your questions and help give back to you in some way. So today's question comes from Parker, who asks, I saw you answering questions in videos. I'm fairly new to building, done about 3 HG and 3 MG, but I was wondering what you think the best way to cover the cut marks from the snippers. There's several different main methods that people use in order to clean up nub marks. The method I use is a double cut method. So I will cut first to remove the part from the runners, leaving as much space between the part and where I cut as possible. And usually really careful to cut where the gate is still thin, not the runner itself, but the thinner gate next to it. I will then cut closer to the runner, closer to the part rather, and then I will use a sanding sponge. I use 3M personally because I just stocked up on a ton of them back when I was new to the hobby. We carry Tamiya, we carry Madworks, God Hand. We'll have Dispe at some point soon. There's also sandpaper options, and we use that to kind of get the part smooth and flush. And the reason you want to cut kind of gradually down is that really what causes the discoloration is stress to the plastic. So the sharper your nippers are, the less mark you'll have in the first place. And then by cutting away from it, you hopefully keep the stress in the plastic that isn't the part itself, but rather that nub on the gate. And so that way you can just sand it away clean. Other people will use a really sharp hobby knife. You can trim gradually down with that. I've seen that work well. You gotta be careful not to cut a big divot out of your part. And you also be careful not to cut yourself. I have seen people just use nippers. I have seen and heard of people using files. Glass files seem to be popular these days. Dispe has some of those, but I think we pretty much just ran out of stock already of the ones that we got from Dispe. There might be 1 or 2 left in there. Glass files tend to do pretty good, and glass file is basically kind of like a nail file. Basically, you can, I guess, get a glass file, at a big box store, Amazon, wherever. That should work pretty well. Supposedly the hobby ones are better, but I don't know personally, so those can work pretty well. And if you really want the nubs to disappear, though, you really need a paint for the most part, because it's hard to get that sanded down perfectly clean in a way that you can't tell the nub was ever there. At least I've never really felt like I've gotten it perfect. White plastic's fairly easy, but brightly colored plastics will mark up pretty bad, and it's, unless you really want to take your time sanding it down from really far away, the best alternative is the paint, in which case you're really just sanding and smoothing the nub down, so that way the paint will go on clean. So hopefully that kind of answers your question, kind of a roundabout way. I really need to create maybe a nub removal video specific to answer this kind of question. You might also check out the video I did where I built a goof, the kit that is a kit, high grade goof, and that was might have some tips right in there, and you can kind of see what I'm doing as I remove nubs during that video, or in that video. So all that said, I think I'm done shooting this for now. Got to get it edited so I can go up tomorrow. But thank you guys for watching, and see you next time.